Hey, good morning. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing really well today, that your week is off to a good start thus far. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're looking at the collective energy for today, Tuesday, February 6th. These messages are always timeless. They're always fluid. Energy transcends. As long as there are messages here for us, then it means it's meant for us. And I hope you do find messages here. I think the best way when we're coming into a reading is setting our intention. What do we want to hear? What questions do we want answered, etc. And Spirit always delivers those messages to us, which is pretty dope. If we're ever in a place where we're uncertain or we can't see things clearly, we really just have to ask our higher guidance, and generally we can feel it, we can sense it, so then we can actually bring that stuff into fruition, right? Make the choices that do align with us that much better. It's hard to hear all the chaos at times. So with that in mind, we'll start out with our energy cleansing. Definitely feel free to grab a smudge bundle. If you want to participate on your end, you can always receive what I'm doing on mine. As I said, energy transcends boundaries. It is fluid. So you can receive, or you can skip ahead if it's not your vibe. All right, all the things. It's been busy. It's interesting, especially these last couple days as the retrogrades have finished for a couple months. There's a lot more momentum going on. I wonder if you can feel it. Life is a little bit busier. There's a lot of to-dos, things to keep up on. I feel like there's this desire to keep the forward momentum, right? Keep pushing forward. But at the same time, we're seeing these things pop up, which kind of distracts our focus. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. I feel like this is this energy of remaining plugged into what we're longing for, what we're manifesting. We got that message yesterday. Regardless of what is transpiring, knowing that we can always take a moment to dream, fantasize about what we're bringing in. And it's really important to do that, especially if you're not seeing evidence of your manifestation right in this moment. And most of us aren't really, there's just a lot of reshuffling going on astrologically. All right, so with that, let's get going. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for the highest and best. Cleanse the energy, cleanse the vibes. Remove anything that is blocking the highest and best. Help me to be an open channel for the collective today. Amen. Okay, welcome. So today is Tuesday, as I mentioned. It's the day of Mars, and Mars really taps us into that action potential, making things happen, finding ways to plug into our daily time and energy in order to accomplish. Sometimes we do have to move things around. Sometimes we do have to cut something else short so we can really honor ourselves and our direction forward. Mars has a lot of push behind it, especially around those changes, that reshuffling I was talking about. So the more we can dial into what we're supposed to be doing, the direction that we're supposed to be taking, there is a little bit of this rebellious component. So rebelling against the typical, the norm, the crone. She's been coming up for us on the regular over the past week or so, really as long as I've been using this deck. And she speaks to me a lot about her wisdom. This is about foreshadowing the truth, foreshadowing what is coming in the future, knowing that innately, and then using that information, like I said, to work for us, not against us. But we also have to find this balance of not trying to control, which is easier said than done, right? In the physical, we get so sucked into this illusion that we can control every facet, every nook and cranny. And I feel like Spirit is asking you just to be a little bit more curious, innocent about other options, other potential. The wisdom is asking us to, okay, so we have the maiden and the crone. The wisdom is asking us to use the knowledge that we've been using, or that we've gained, right? Over the past, especially, yes, 2023, 100%, but especially over this last month or two, as things are shifting, as Pluto's moving into Aquarius, the retrogrades are easing up, etc. Like I've mentioned, there still is a little bit of resistance to how this is playing out. And yeah, because we still have to dig deep with this Moringa. It's telling us that, you know, it's not necessarily this easy path, right? It's not like we're running this race and we get to the finish line and woo, there you go, right? It's actually relying more on our ability to sustain through the difficulty. Like I said, that value of momentum and other things popping up to kind of take our focus off or distract us. And like I said, they don't have to be something like that's trying to block your progress. It's not about that. It's just life, right? There's always things that come up as we are navigating. It's very busy, it's very chaotic. And so we do have to tap into that power. The Three of Cups just flew out. So relying on friends, community for that support. Maybe you need to grow in a little bit of wisdom today around some choices that you need to make. I'm hearing it might be a good idea to really seek out some advice from trusted individuals, people that are here to support you, people that do have your back. That is an essential component right now, because we are really trying to weed out or set better boundaries with people, places, and things that haven't really been showing up for us. But there is a lot of self-reliance coming through is what I'm seeing as well. Okay, so Knight of Wands is in our outside energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. This is someone who I feel like, well, this is someone new, yeah. Well, let me clarify one more. Okay, so we got Knight of Wands, Seven of Swords, sneaky energy, someone going after something very quickly, High Priestess, something coming into fruition. This connects back with the crone energy, that wisdom, future, the foreshadowing that I was talking about. So this is definitely someone from the past. This is someone who is trying to be a little bit sneaky. Okay, so they're going back into bad behavior is what I'm hearing. It's someone who didn't get their way, and so I feel like they're trying to pursue other options. They're trying to find other ways, whether it's about getting after you, whether it's trying to trigger you, whether they're just being an a-hole, whatever it is. You know, they have this very wild energy about them. I feel like you're holding your ground with this Emperor energy. That is Aries energy. It's the masculine principle. It's also ruled by Mars. So really, Spirit is showing that you're standing strong in your boundaries, those boundaries I was talking about earlier. And it's needed, because this type of energy, this is someone who's just like bringing a lot of chaos, bringing a lot of destruction. Someone who doesn't think things through, they just act before they even have thought it out, right? They a little arrogant, you know, not like, they're not someone who wants to share. They're not someone who wants to like find balance, find reciprocity. I feel like you know this. There's something where Spirit's saying you have inclinations around this. You can sense it, you can kind of feel it. But you're also trying to not pay attention to it. You're trying to pay attention on or towards the things that you have going on. And the Queen of Swords is saying continue to do so. You almost have to turn your back on the bad behavior is what I'm hearing. We had some fire energy come up for us yesterday with a similar message, just in terms of like someone who's not really like, or trying to maintain control is a better way to say it. Control of you, control of the situation. And like, it feels like you just have to turn your back to it. You have to know where you stand. You have to know what your boundaries are, what your values are, and not pay attention. It's not the time. And honestly, I do think this is going to take some internal, like some empowerment on your end. That same message of the lessons that you've learned thus far, putting them into practice today. And Mars energy can be a little bit combative. So we really want to make sure that we're leading with our heart and not with our mind, with our words, our anger, our emotion, etc. Especially because the Emperor can be very ruthless. So, you know, I always say it's good to approach situations, believe the best in the other person. Even if they have been treating you like a piece of shit, if we can just come with that perspective of believing in the best, it makes it a lot easier to not get those more intense emotions triggered. Because then we feel balanced within ourselves. It also gives us the freedom to set those boundaries and be really strong in how we want to move forward. This is someone, you know, it's interesting because I feel like they want something with you, but you guys are on two different pages, especially with them vibing as the Prince of Wands and you as the Emperor, because you've been there, done that. You already know how it's gonna go, like you've learned your lessons, etc. And there is this element of teamwork on the table, but it doesn't really feel like this other person authentically wants to work with you. I don't get that vibe at all. So be really conscious with any offers that come in, especially when you can kind of feel like someone's hustling you a little bit, right? They're trying to charm you into making a decision that is like beneficial to them. And I'm not saying that both sides can't have benefit. It's really important. That's reciprocity. But when one side outweighs the other, and I feel like this person needs something from you, there's something that they're asking for with the Three of Pentacles. They want you to see how far they've come. They want you to see how much work they've done. You know, there's a lot of naive energy. It's very immature. And we know, especially depending on how old you are, like when we're in our youth, we can be a little bit of a know-it-all and think we have things figured out, etc. But it might not necessarily be the true perspective. And that's where the Emperor has more awareness than the Knight of Wands. He's not really looking to, there's our Queen of Wands energy. He's not really looking to bend and flex. There's a lot of people involved in this situation. It definitely reminds me of readings that we did back in December when there is this, you know, there's people lingering around you that, yeah, are just fighting. They're causing chaos. They're causing drama. And that's probably why you have to be in this Emperor energy, because you got to hold your ground is what I'm hearing. And it does feel like this Knight and Queen of Wands have some sort of collaboration going. Or if they're not related, then it's like they definitely have the same energy, the same vibration. That wanting to control, wanting to dictate how things move. Neither of them are paying attention to you. Neither of them really care about you and what you want. It's more about them. But they still need you or want you to be a part of this, you know, whatever this chaos is. It reminds me, some people thrive on drama and chaos. Some people, that's their fuel, so they'll stir the pot whether they need to or not. All right, so staying strong, staying vigilant, tapping into that power that we talked about, your own personal power. Yeah. and don't let it distract you. I do feel like they want to push you off course with that Chariot energy, especially if there is a lot of drama and chaos or conflict going on in the background. Yeah, this definitely feels very family related or chosen family. These are people that are close to you. These are people that, like I said, it feels like you've had conflict with them in the past, and it feels like you guys still are not on the same page. And we've been seeing this energy because it's like, you know, I feel like when people don't move, when they don't evolve, when they're getting quote unquote left behind, it can be a very humbling energy. All right, we'll go with the Mandrake because I shuffled and it fell out. Ooh, excuse me. Whew, sorry, I'm a little pooped today. Mama's been burning the candle at both ends. Uh-oh. Okay. So I love this. Wealth, fertility, the ability to assuage pain is Mandrake's greatest gift to humanity. Easing pain in others, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, is a skill that should be treasured. If you have chosen this card, it may indicate that you are called upon to alleviate suffering in some way. This may be as simple as an offering, reassuring words to distressed friends, or it might involve a vocational choice. Perhaps you are choosing whether or not to follow a course of training or work that focuses on alleviating pain in others. Definitely that healer vibe. And I feel like when we are in situations, when we're dealing with more difficult people, maybe we are the more mature one, maybe we do see things clearly, and that can be really challenging to deal with, right? Because we often want to tell people what we think they should know, where there's this element of using that wisdom that we talked about earlier, using the perspective of believing in the best. And those things are really going to alleviate some of the pain, some of the suffering in this dynamic. You know, the thing is, the Emperor can definitely get a bad rap because he is kind of an intense energy, but at the same time, it's someone who knows themselves so well that they can have strong boundaries, but there's also a little bit of flex in there. So when things like this do come up, maybe you do need to heal parts of the situation. Maybe you need to just use different language so people feel more calm and centered and they're not trying to cause all this drama and chaos. I wouldn't encourage you to walk into the drama and chaos because it's not yours, unless they're bringing it to your door. And that's where I feel like if you approach with loving words, but have your boundaries set, you're going to come out on top. Alternatively, this card may suggest that you are entering a phase of great luck and even wealth. Whoop, whoop. We'll claim that. Thank you, Spirit. Mandrake has been associated with prosperity, good fortune for centuries, and those who planted seeds of happiness for others in the past can expect to experience joy in their own lives too. Since Mandrake is connected with love and fertility, this card may also mean that love is entering your life, or that you are beginning a fertile phase in your physical or spiritual experience. I really love that because it definitely confirms that we are getting our abundance. It is coming in. And sometimes we do need a softer approach. Sometimes it's not all about, you know, telling people how shitty they are or what they did or blah, blah, blah. Sometimes we need those conversations and they're beneficial. Most of the time they're not. Everyone has their own interpretation and perspective. And that's why it's really important to claim how we think, how we feel in that dynamic, and not necessarily assume what someone else is thinking or feeling. And that can be really hard to do, right? Especially when you do have a lot of wisdom, when you can see through the bullshit, you know, when you're not being lured in by it. So I would say, like, again, use that as your power. Use it as your power to overcome the difficulties, the negativity, whatever these people are trying to throw on you. It feels like I keep hearing this thing, it might be best just to appease the situation because it's going to be less stress on you. The Emperor can also carry a lot of burdens, you know, especially other people's, like things that are not his responsibility. So be really mindful of that today, especially if you do come into contact with this person or group of people, because there is going to be some conflict around it. And that's why it's so important for you to know who you are, know your boundaries, know how you want to show up, and what result you're looking for. Yes, in a utopia, everyone would get along, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. So we really have to be able to vet the people appropriately, know who they are, how they operate, etc., and then make our decisions about whether we really want to even invite that energy back into our life. So, thank you so much for your time and energy. I appreciate you always. I hope these messages resonated. Definitely leave comments below. I love to hear how it plays out in your life. Thank you for your support to the channel. It means so much to my heart. I hope you have a fabulous Tuesday. Lots of love.